everyone's encounter and also faces, but almost no one admits it openly. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe this is not working for me. Or maybe I should quit. This one is really leading to unpleasant situations. I have doubts that they're not going to do it. Anchor yourself to the longer game. Marhaban, how's it going, everyone? And welcome back to Yuwab, your place to get going and thrive at work and also life. I'm your host, Saeed Al-Ghafri. I'm so grateful to have you here with me today. And if you're new, thank whoever shared this episode with you. And always subscribe and share my podcast and episode if you definitely find it useful. Today, we are talking about something everyone's encounter and also faces, but almost no one admits it openly, and that is doubt. You know, it's so heavy in your head, to the point that you may question yourself, and it's basically not that good. So sometimes you'll be talking to yourself and say, maybe I'm not good enough. To always start with that, maybe I'm not. Or maybe this is not working for me. Or maybe I should quit. Now, just notice, we used the word maybe. Sometimes when you use maybe, it's out of politeness, or maybe asking a permission. But this one is really leading to unpleasant situations. So let's break it down. And here is the truth. Doubt is very much normal. You're going to experience it. What really separates you from those who quit or those who succeed is how you respond to that doubt. And not really respond and really stay very much certain. So certainty becomes very important when you have that doubt. Even when things are not really seems to be on track. So responding to that doubt and having certainty is the most important thing when you have doubt. Let's put that into a bit of perspective. Doubt usually starts when something is conflicting with you. It could be your values, a specific project, or a certain path you are going ahead with. That moment, when anything goes wrong, then doubts start to happen. And then you'll be having questions on why. Let's say there is a project. Let's say there is a small team that's working on a project. And there is one guy who's been late, could be for 1 hour, 30 minutes, and no one knows. And this guy, immediately they'll be like, this guy has been thinking, why is he late? What's going to happen to the project? Why this will fail? These are all doubts that are happening to you. And it will start to basically consume your time, consume your effort, and you're not going to be yourself. So eventually you're just going to ignore everything else, and then you're going to do their job. Go deep into the work and do it. Although this could wait. Reality is this could be wait, or you could basically call the guy and say, where are you? So doubt really pushes you to do things which are out of really when things are not really under control. Or let's say sometimes you've been always the go-to person. You're the trusted advisor to someone. And let's say during one encounter or one meeting, no one referred to you. And then the second encounter, no one even referred to you. And then the third one, and you get the point. What happened if you're that person? You're just going to be doubtful that, I'm not really worthy. I'm not trusted anymore. Leading to doubts and doubting your capability and leading to insecurities, and God forbids, you are really, not really unworthy. And you don't want to be vulnerable when that happens because things could go wrong for you. Let me share with you a story. Actually, two stories. I coached one guy. He came to me and he said, Saeed, and I want to grow my business. I said, okay, awesome, man. I love to see people growing. We got into what he wants to do, what are the things that he wants to work on. Then, the moment we started putting actions against basically what he needs to achieve, each action required people to be there. The moment we started putting people, he immediately had doubts. Immediately. I'm like, okay, how are you going to do this? I'm going to do it by myself. Okay, what do you need to do it? How long will it take you? 6 months. Awesome. Next one. What do you need to do this? I'll do it myself. So we had, I think, 4 or 5 and everything he wanted to do by himself. I'm like, you have a team, right? He said, yes. Why don't you give it to them? Well, I have doubts that they're not going to do it. What happened is that this guy could not really scale his business. And I honestly could not really work with him because he had doubts on every step of the process. Eventually, I don't know what happened to him, but the guy is sharp. He's doing very well in what he sells. He could have really scaled his business, but that doubt kept him really not moving. Another guy, he's a friend, and we've been talking. The guy is really great. He's a higher performer in a specific area. One day he was offered a promotion, a higher promotion, definitely higher promotion in a different division. Now, what happened is that this guy, when he went there, he could not really perform. Honestly, he couldn't perform. He was doing very well where he was. Then he went to this place and he started to doubt himself. I can't manage. I don't know how to do this. Although it's not really different. It's the same thing, okay? Like the same field, but a little bit different. But he couldn't do it. He really couldn't do it. It took him a month and I had to speak to him a couple of times. And now the guy is doing remarkable. Actually, he is the best fit for that place. We tried with a lot of people. They tried with a lot of people for that specific place, but honestly, he is the perfect fit. MashaAllah. Now, these are 3 steps that you keep in mind when you have that uncertainty and you want to basically anchor yourself. The first thing here is when you have doubt, try to separate facts from feelings. What I mean by that, when you have a doubt, immediately you're going to have feelings and emotions. As simple as that. You don't want that. Link it to facts. What I learned from my mindfulness practice is that you're going to always have doubts. Whether you like it or you don't like it, doubt will be there. What I was taught is think of the doubts as a movie. You're there, I'll give you a popcorn, I'll give you maybe a Coca-Cola or whatever you want to drink, and just watch it. Don't be in the narrative. The moment you be in the narrative, the moment you are going to be basically reacting. Then things will just pass by. That's really very important because we usually exaggerate based on doubts and not based on feelings. And it tells you that, oh, you're going to fail if you don't really attack that. You know what I'm saying? So this is very important. So don't really mix that feeling and make it factual. I have a tip for you. So what happened is, if you can't really let go of the thought, and I understand sometimes we're so much attached to the thought, and basically not a lot of people can let go of the thought. Sit down. Understand what is the thought. All right? And then write down what is that doubt and journal about it. Now, write down what is really actually working for that specific thing or activity that you're doing and what is not really working well. You're going to see that things are close to perfection. They're basically fine most of the time, and you should not really doubt yourself. Very important. I just love journaling. Journaling is amazing. Use it for this situation. The second thing is always borrow your belief Always borrow that. What I mean by this is when your own certainty is shaky, what you should do is borrow beliefs from your mentors, friends, or even your past ones. I just love to have a mentor because you're just going to have doubts. You're going to have those moments. When you have those mentors close to you, and I know them and I call them all the time and I still have them, by the way, then they just tell me, Saeed, basically, we talk it over, we go through this, and things are fine. And honestly, your past ones are amazing when you look at it. A tip for you, journal again, like journal and look at your past ones. And honestly, what are you trying to achieve in your life? When you have an amazing purpose and a vision, things can be easily for you, really easily for you. And again, the more you have a friend or a mentor to speak to, the more you're going to be cheered up and the more you're going to achieve, and you will feel that things are really possible and there is nothing that I should be doubtful about, even if it's a small thing that you have achieved in life. But that will clear out that doubt. The third thing here is really try to anchor yourself to the longer game. What I mean by that is most of the people are very much into today and not the whole picture. Now, maybe things are shaky right now, and it's normal, by the way. I mean, look at the sea. It's so wavy, and it's not going to be, it's just going to be calm a little bit, maybe in some instances. But again, most of the time, if you go to the ocean, it's usually wavy. Anchor yourself to the moment. You are really there for the long run. I mean, look at the helicopter view. Zoom out as much as you can. Look at the bigger picture when you try to achieve things. It's very important when it comes to that. I always let me share with you, I'm known to be a person who is a big picture kind of a guy, very much strategic. When I go into a situation, where I feel there are doubts, like let's say two people are talking, then I have doubts in my mind. Why this is happening? Why this is happening? What did it happen? The more I zoom out and I look at different perspective, the better I see the picture and the ease those doubts would happen. Try it. It works very well. Don't listen to one person. Try to basically talk to a couple once for that specific situation. Or maybe journal, or maybe research about it. That will ease the doubt when it comes to that. All right? So these are some practical tools. Just note them down. The first one is my basically absolute favorite. Journal. Journal your doubts. And then turn those doubts into discussion points, as we said. And then when you do that, try to visualize it. And then ask yourself, what if you would stay, let's say, within the course of another year? What will happen? What will happen if I fail today? And replace that uncertainty with commitment. You really don't need to be always certain to keep going in your life. All right? This is a reflection for you guys. And think about this. The most successful leaders, athletes, entrepreneurs, whoever you admire out there, they were all doubtful. So doubt is not something that you will only be experiencing in life. Everyone experienced it. The only difference is they turned that into something to fuel their discipline. They've learned, and this is where they are today. All right? And as we end, I want to leave you with a challenge. Next time, doubt hits you, don't ask that you are failing or I'm failing or something is happening. Ask what's the next right step. Doubt is really normal. All right? And being certain is something very rare. Certainty usually is built when you have committed actions once at a time. All right? At Yuwab, we believe clarity, resilience aren't found in really perfect conditions. These are found when you go into those shaky, uncertain situations, and then you keep growing. Until next time, keep growing and keep building certainty through actions. مع السلامة.